You like tape?
I love that. And we're live here on Facebook. I'd like to welcome those listening on podcast land. I'd like to welcome special guest Joe Hart to the podcast, as well as my good friend Rich. Rich, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody, and also thank you for anybody tuning in and listening to us on the YouTube as well as here on Facebook Live.
And so, how are you doing this week,
I'm
Rich?
doing good. You kind of cut me off a little bit there, but that's okay. If you're watching us here on Facebook Live, make sure to give us a thumbs up, any sort of reaction, or a comment, and we'll try and read it on air at the end, or maybe even when you make the comment, if we catch it on time. Yep. So, Mike, I'm doing good. Had a pretty good meal tonight. We went out to Grilled Cheese and Bar out in the village of East Davenport, and with my folks had a green apple Moscow Mule.
Okay.
And a Monte Cristo grilled cheese.
I don't know that I'd be able to eat one of those again.
No?
No, after that gallbladder surgery, that might be a little too much for me.
Yeah, it was good. We'll probably go back there for dinner and drinks, at least for drinks again next time.
Okay.
They had a pretty good selection of Moscow Mules, and also you can do a margarita flight.
Ooh, margarita flight. That sounds delicious.
Which is too much for you, the Moscow Mule or the Monte Cristo?
The Monte Cristo. All that grilled fattiness, all that fatty deep friedness probably wouldn't sit well right yet. Anyway, Rich, good week down there. I hear the weather's been a little crazy. You had rain and snow and grossness.
Yeah, snowed today going into work. So.
It snowed yesterday for us. But
it was gorgeous this afternoon.
It was great. We were in the mid to upper 50s, and it was awesome. Okay, we got a big show for you today. We are going to be talking about the MLB is back. The opening day has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Cubs baseball has been on the air. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. We're going to talk about we're going to wrap up our coverage of the NCAA tournament. Rich, what else we got going on today?
We'll be going into the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, as well as giving you some quick hits about who's going to be taking over the mic over at Fox with Joe Buck, moving over to ESPN, and talking a little bit about the Masters as well.
Yeah.
Mike, before we roll the intro, how are you and Joe doing?
We'll give you the full rundown after the show. Got some stuff to talk about, but other than that, we're doing all right. I'm doing good, and it's been a little crazy week, but we made it, and we're on to a weekend. Dad, how you doing?
Dinner was delicious out at the country club.
We went out to Grettinger for dinner because everybody else was too busy here in town. So,
gotcha. And what do you got in the smoker tonight for Gracie's birthday tomorrow?
Brisket.
Nice. All right, Mike. So with that out of the way, Mike, what's it time to do?
Let's roll the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back here on Facebook Live. So, Rich, before we get into anything, the most important thing we do on a show has nothing to do with sports. Let's talk about the poll question, where we kind of tie it into sports, as we are doing sports music. This week, Showdown, Bear Down, Chelsea Dangler, or Cyrus. If you're not familiar, I think everybody's familiar with Bear Down. Chelsea Dagger is the song that they play at Blackhawks game, especially when they get a win or when they get a goal. used to be our theme song. Da 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 da. Richard's dancing over there. That's always good to see. And then finally, the intro music for the Chicago Bulls of the early 90s. So
I haven't watched a Bulls game since Michael Jordan retired. I'm fine assuming that they still use that as their introduction song. And it's the song that I went with. It's a lot of good memories watching Chicago Bulls basketball. And during my workout days, when I was running, because I had to, because I was in the military, that was on one of my playlists of one of my workout playlists, as well as with Chelsea Dagger as well.
Yeah,
good. So I went with "Serious Eye in the Sky." The Bulls intro song was my vote.
Yeah, Dad, do you have a preference on any of those three?
That DMX at the beginning of "Eye in the Sky" is just too intense. It's just such an excellent piece of music.
Well, unfortunately, you guys are both wrong. As Bear Down, Chicago Bears Bear Down. Now, we know why Joe couldn't vote for it, because he's a Packer fan, and for him to vote for that would basically be giving up his second religion. So Bear Down wins with 5 votes. In second place, Chelsea Dagger with 3 votes. And coming in with just 2 votes, Cirrus, Eye in the Sky, the Bulls intro song.
All right, so that's fine. Good selection of songs. This week, with the Cubs having opening day and oddly enough,
getting to play this song.
Getting to play these songs. Getting to play this song. We're going to go with Go Cubs Go all the way, the Eddie Vedder's song about the Chicago Cubs, and Hey Hey Holy Mackerel.
Okay. So that'll go live tomorrow at noon. And don't forget to jump over to our Facebook page, our Facebook fan page, facebook.com/fans of Balls and Stick, in order to vote on that and let us know what you like. Okay, Rich, let's head into the NCAA tournament. Final 4 pick'em standings, they didn't change. In fact, the points didn't even change. I won. That's all that matters. The points didn't change from last week. That's not really what matters, but the points didn't change from last week. We did predict the Final Four, or we talked about the Final Four. We had Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, and Villanova. Rich, you thought Duke was going to win. I thought Villanova was going to win, and neither one of us picked either team that was even in the finals. So the finals ended up being Kansas, North Carolina. Your winners being Kansas. Rich, did you watch any of it?
No, I didn't.
I watched the Villanova game, and then Villanova lost. So you know what I didn't do on Monday? Watch the national championship game. Why would I do such a thing?
The big question is whether Coach K is coming back.
No, he's retired.
He's not. He's done.
He's retired. He may come back
with his top assistant moving on to Kentucky.
Nope, he's retired. He announced it a year ago. He's retired. Let an old man go to sleep.
So is Tom Brady.
I think it's a completely different thing. I think Coach K is done. Like, he's tired. He needs to be done. He can't being a head coach in college is not about being able to perform in a game. It has nothing to do with that. Being a head coach is watching highlights and watching film at 2 a.m. and ordering a pizza at 4 or DoorDash to go get you Taco Bell with your assistants, and that's what it's all about. You can't tell me that Coach K's up for that anymore.
What's bigger than that is recruiting. If you don't have the stars, you're not going to be in the game. And
he's done.
I think the recruiting class, which was the top in the country, is going to fall apart because they got sold a bill of goods. The guy who was their main recruiter is no longer there.
Nope, because he announced it. He was very transparent that this was going to be his last year.
Yeah.
So anybody that's on that team knew going into it that if they were going to commit to Duke,
I'm talking about that assistant coach.
K for 1 year.
But they knew that K was gone, and they knew that that it wasn't guaranteed. They knew it wasn't guaranteed that the assistant coach was going to be the hire. They didn't. That's not. It's over. He's done.
This
He's going.
assistant
No,
was who
no.
they were holding on to. These are a bunch of 18-year-olds who need a father figure.
Half of them think they can go to the NBA this year. The other half,
and the other half will go into the transfer portal if they don't want to play
right.
His replacement.
It's fine. They're not. It's not. Coach K's done. He's not coming back. There's no question about it. No. Okay, let's move on to.
So something I did to kind of see interesting through a Facebook post.
Yep.
About Coach K's loss. North Carolina had the honor, or within the rivalry, the right, I guess, of handing Coach K his first loss at Duke, his final regular season loss, and his final NCAA tournament loss.
Wow. All
came at the hands of interstate rival North Carolina. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I did not know that. It's also, I mean, it was the first time that those two teams have met in the Final Four. How crazy is that?
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, good weekend. Kansas doing what Kansas does, right? I mean, they kind of play the underdog. I mean, they're a blue blood, but they're sitting there. Nobody paid attention to them all year. And then all of a sudden, come the tournament, they look like the best team in the tournament and turn out to be the best team in the tournament.
They were a 1 seed, right?
2.
Oh.
No, they were the number 1 seed.
Oh, I thought they were the number 2 seed.
No, they were a 1.
Okay. But they were the number 2 overall, right? Then?
I think they might have been the 4th number 1 ranked.
Oh, okay.
Team.
I thought they were number 2, but no, Nova was the 2. Nova was the 2.
North
Okay, that's
Carolina
right.
was an
That's
8.
right.
Duke was a 2.
Yeah. How about North Carolina being an 8 seed, making it all the way? Does that surprise you at all? That's the highest ranked. Isn't that the lowest ranked team to make it to the Final Four, or to make it to the
championship?
I think you had to a championship game, maybe.
Championship game.
George Mason was double-digit seed, and they made it to the Final Four. And I think even Loyola Chicago, when they made a run a couple of years ago, was a double-digit team.
Okay. Rich, do you see what's coming up ahead?
Mike, is it a left turn?
Yes, it is. What's after that, Joe?
Another left turn.
Because we're heading into the NASCAR Corner, presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, on 5th Avenue. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs locally or on their eBay store. Once again, that's Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Last week we went to we had the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond, and we have not seen a Toyota win this year until last week. Rich, you picked Joey Logano.
Yeah, Joey Logano came in 17th. I was taking a really good NASCAR nap. I guess my wife said that Logano had a really rough pit stop.
Yeah.
While I was napping, to where the jack got stuck.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of positions, I guess.
Yeah, the jack wouldn't
really recovered.
The jack wouldn't retract all the way, and so they had to jack the car up and try to get it out that way. They couldn't get it that way, and so Joey was like, "Well, F it," and just got on it and drove over it.
Baby.
And I mean, the guys knew what was going to happen. They had said, "Fine, Joey, go," and so Joey goes, and they're pulling on it so it doesn't actually hit the back tire or the back fender. I think no harm, no foul, but he had lost enough positions that it put him down a bit, and he couldn't get past it.
A penalty for that?
There's no penalty. He didn't bring anything out of the pit box. He didn't do anything wrong. They were fine with it. There's no penalties against it. Okay, So, Rich, Joey Logano came in 17th. Martin Truex Jr. came in 4th. And your race winner, Denny Hamlin, the first Toyota of the year. We've had this is the longest run of people under the age of, I think, 35, if I remember correct. It might even be 30.
I think 30.
Of people who have won a race, and in that, we just had it broken by a guy that's over 40, in Denny Hamlin, which just makes me feel old because I remember when Denny Hamlin was a young guy.
Yeah. I know. I'm kicking myself when I saw that race winner because that was me, and I said it on air, and you even thought that was my pick.
I did.
When you took Martin Truex, I mean, I made a comment, if I couldn't have gotten Truex, my other backup was Denny Hamlin, but I didn't pick him because Denny Hamlin is just somebody I don't like. I don't know what I don't like about him.
I love Denny Hamlin is my current driver. He really is. Mostly, so when he was, I think it was his second or third year, he got in an accident and tore his ACL in the accident in the car. Really freak accident. And he had to have his knee rebuilt and was back in the car 2 weeks later.
Wow. And
just for me, that's the reason why I've put him where he is. So Denny Hamlin wins in a Toyota, which is nice for them. And it was a good race. We continue to the trend of short track racing this week as we go from Richmond, a short track tri-oval, to a paper clip in Martinsville. That is where my grandmother graduated from high school. So, little tidbit of information as we have my dad as a guest this week. He can let us know. His mom was graduated from there, so kind of exciting.
All right, Mike, the Blue Email 400 out of Martinsville. You're on a 5-race winning streak. Who are you going to pick, Mike, to hopefully go for race number 6 in a row?
Well, I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but you know what? Let's go with Kevin Harvick.
All right.
He's
Joe. Go ahead, Mike.
I don't think he's super great at these short tracks, but he's a nice guy, and even though a lot of times in short track racing, nice guys finish last, he doesn't have anybody attacking him. So look for him to be able to make a good run at it this week.
All right. Joe, I'm on quite a bit of a losing streak, so I'm going to let you pick the next driver, and I'll take who's left.
It's going to be one of two people. It's either going to be the driver that will move you out of the way for years and years and years, or it'll be the driver who's just developed the reputation of moving you out of the way. It'll either be Ryan Blaney, who's the new one moving folks out of the way, but I think it's going to be the longtime mover, and that's Kyle Busch. I think Kyle's going to push somebody out of the way on the last lap and win the thing.
All right. Kyle has had good track history there in Martinsville. He's the guy I'll have in my fantasy lineup, as he usually does do pretty well here. So with Harvick and Busch off the board, the gut and a little bit of research killed me last week, not going with Denny Hamlin. So the initial guy that comes to mind for this race, I'm going to go William Byron.
Okay.
William Byron.
That team at least knows how to put a good car together. We'll see if he can drive it.
Yeah, his teammate Chase Elliott's on the pole.
And I was going to mention, just so Joe knows, if you pick Kyle Busch while on balls and sticks, there's a very high possibility he wrecks out of the race, which we're okay with it around here. So, Rich, what were you saying?
Was just going to, before we leave the NASCAR corner, give a quick update on the fantasy NASCAR.
Yeah.
Last week at Richmond, The Funk House won with 229 points. I came in second with 211. Dupo came in third with 207. The Easers had 192 points. And bringing up the rear, Mike, 148.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't do great at fantasy. I don't understand it. Like, I do well against you if all fantasy was picking one driver and each person only got one of the drivers, I'd do real well. But no. The way fantasy works, I suck.
That's because you pick Landon Castle each week.
No.
Todd Gilliard.
Yeah, Todd Gilliland's pretty good.
By the way, Castle is from Cedar Rapids.
Yes, he is.
Wow, I did not know that. So overall season standings, Mike, you're still in last place.
Yep.
You're not in triple digits yet either, as you only have 984 points.
You mean quadruple digits?
Oh yeah, 4. Sorry. I'm in second place in the group with 1218, and your leader, the Funk House, with 1264.
Okay. So that has been the NASCAR Corner, presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out on 5th Avenue for all your sports memorabilia needs in person or on their eBay store. Once again, that's Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Let's keep making left turns, Rich, as we head from the track to the diamond, as we actually had baseball this week.
We did. So,
and
did you get a chance to listen or watch the Cubs game?
I listened to the whole game, and Rich, guess what?
What?
The Cubs are in first place right now in the division.
And they're undefeated.
Yeah.
How long is that going to last?
Hey, it's on record. We have it on the show. We'll take it.
I don't think we've ever gotten to talk about the Cubs having a perfect week, show to show.
Yeah, that's true. Ever. Show to show, they had a perfect week. Okay, Rich, we're retiring. We're done. I'm done. This is the last show ever, people. I'm kidding. We'll see you next week. We're gonna be in person. But no.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't get to watch as much of the game. I was at work. I tried.
I thought you took the game day off.
Isn't it a national holiday?
Yeah, it should be. It should be. I was thinking about taking the half day off, and then it just didn't work out.
Yeah,
I took a half day today, and then the game got rained out.
Yeah, I actually talked to our HR person and was like, "Is it all right if I wear a Cubs jersey because it's opening day tomorrow?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. You should have told me earlier. We would have had everybody do it." Next year?
I wore my polo shirt. I wore a polo shirt.
Yeah. I have a polo. I could have done that, but I wanted to wear a jersey. Make more of a statement.
Right. Yeah. Thrilling victory, though. Come from behind. Cousin Kyle looked good. 7 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Overall, I mean, the team looked good in a one-game game. So, you know.
Maybe they won't be as bad as we thought they would.
Oh, they're going to be worse. They're not going to be better. They will be worse. They might be worse, but they will not be better than what we expect them to be. Okay, Rich, we have 2 games with the Brewers, 2 games with the Pirates, and 1 game with the Rockies. I suspect
from show to show.
From today to next Friday, that's what we will see. How many games do you think they're going to win?
I'm going to give them 3 wins.
Okay. I am going to give them 4.
4? Okay.
4. I think they're going to have a good week this week. Do you want to give a guess, or do you not?
Well, since you said they're having 2 games with the Brewers and 2 games with the Pirates and 2 games with the Rockies.
1 game with the Rockies.
Oh, 1 game.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only out of 5 games?
Yeah.
Oh, then I feel even better about saying they're only going to win 2.
2.
Ooh, okay. That was my original number that I was gonna say, but I went with doubling that because we'll play. I'll play devil's advocate here. They got a hot hand against the Brewers. The Pirates suck, and you never know what you're going to get when you get Rocky Mountain High. Balls fly out of that stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting them to win on Thursday.
Oh,
with,
no.
Corbin Burns on the mound. But
nope.
So I'm going with those 3 victories coming against the Bucks and the Rockies, not against the Brewers.
I think they can pull.
I'll take it if I can get it.
I think they can pull one off against the Brewers. I think they can win both of the games against the Pirates, and I think they might. I think the Rockies. That's going to be a coin toss. I think they probably should win at least that one game in that series.
Where are the Pirates games being played?
In Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh, but I can't see them losing 2 at home.
How about the fact that Cubs fans travel well? And especially to Pittsburgh. For some reason, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati Cubs fans love almost as much as they love going to Milwaukee or St. Louis. So, no, it's fine.
And it'll be during the week as well, so
Yeah.
more than likely will be more Cubs fans than Pirate fans.
Yep, even more reason
as well. So, Mike, before we get to our predictions, kind of one news thing that kind of came out is that catchers will be able to wear wireable devices for pitch signaling.
Yeah.
And I guess up to two fielders in the field can also wear a device to assist with positioning out on the field.
Yeah. So have you heard this?
Yeah, and they're supposed to be able to be in communication with the guy with the super telephoto lens sitting out in center field stealing the signs.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you don't need a telephoto lens. You need a receiver that you can somehow hack into the Bluetooth or whatever it's going to be. I don't like it, but you know.
I want to see it. I want to see how it works. I don't think it'll ever get to the position. I don't think you'll ever see it get to where every single pitcher and catcher or team use it exclusively.
I disagree with that, and I'll explain why.
Okay, go ahead.
Where is this being implemented already?
The Yankees. In the article that I posted from ESPN where I read up a lot about it was the Yankees were going to be one team that was going to try it.
You say the Yankees, but it's also being implemented in the lower leagues, AAA, AA, Single A,
tested.
And it is so when you have your next generation of players, that's how they get trained in the game. You no longer use signs. You use a wristwatch that you send a message to the person, and that's how you give signs.
Oh, so now we got Dick Tracy playing baseball.
Your next generation that's all they're going to know. So we are 2 generations. We are the people that are playing right now, and the ones coming up after them. That all they will know as professional players is that wristwatch.
I could see that coming through if the individual teams down in the minors want to invest in that type of technology.
In 2 years,
across the minor leagues,
it's going to be such an advantage. In 2 years, it is going to in 2 generations of players. Now, when I say 2 generations, I'm saying there are players in the minor leagues right now that are moving their way up to become major leaguers. Okay. And there are guys that will start to be drafted very soon in the next few drafts, all the way through the next 5 years, which are the players that then come after the players that are in the minor leagues. And those guys, all they will know will be the automated pitch call or whatever you want to call it. It's also why in the next 15 years, every team will be using it, and it will be exclusively what people use, and that's all they're going to know. I will say that first. Second, does this usher in the automated strike zone?
Boy, I hope not. They've gone so far away from pure baseball, though. I guess maybe it would shock me.
How about in the 70s or in the 60s when they lowered the mound? Is that getting away from pure baseball? You want to argue about pure baseball? How about the fact that I can't cut the ball? That's pure baseball. No, it is. If you look,
that's old time baseball, but it's not pure baseball.
Okay, but it's still traditional baseball. It says I can throw you a spitball. That wasn't outlawed until the 60s.
Only Denny McLean got away with that.
Satchel Paige was allowed to throw a spitball. So you're telling me
in the major leagues or in the
Negro leagues? In the major leagues. In the major leagues, he was the last player to record a spitball thrown. So again, I ask you.
But he was 63 years old at that time.
Yeah. But again, I ask you, if you're going to say that pure baseball, then you got to go back to pure baseball. Spitballs are allowed.
Any 63-year-old that's pitching can use a spitball.
No, but players that were the all-stars at the time were using spitballs.
They use nail files and fingernails and everything else to cut the ball up, yes.
So if you want to go to pure baseball, let's bring the dead ball era back.
I don't think that's pure baseball.
But it's more traditional.
Yes.
It's more traditional. It's more of the original game. So if you are that stuck on the original game, then we need to bring those things back. Are you okay with that? Are you okay?
I'm okay with sliding into second base.
Are you okay with how small? If you're going to say that, let's build the stadiums like they used to. Build them half the size that they are now. You're going to see scores of 27 to 28.
Only because guys are closing their eyes and swinging as hard as they can.
How about we bring spiking people back?
I think that's okay.
How about we bring... You're wrong.
I think the knockdown pitch is okay.
Games evolve. Football, do you have a problem with football today?
Yeah, they wear skirts.
Okay. Either way, sports evolve. Part of the evolution of baseball is the use of technology to make the game better. Now, I think they need to lower the strike zone if they do it, because on a traditional strike zone, if you use a robot, the robot will call a ball that touches the strike zone a strike. Right? That's kind of how it goes. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be all the way in the strike zone. Just has to touch the strike zone. And that's technically the rule. If it touches the strike zone, it's a strike. A 95 miles an hour fastball at the top of the tight strike zone. I don't care who you are. If you can hit that top of the strike zone and just barely touch the top of the strike zone, there is not a batter in the world that's going to be able to do that.
So what's wrong with that?
Okay, we're going to go back to 0-0 games in the bottom of the 15th.
Let's have Bob Gibson doing a shutout in an hour, 53 minutes, and go home.
Okay.
That's part of the complaint is that
isn't Bob Gibson dead?
Pardon?
Isn't Bob Gibson dead?
No, not yet.
Okay. He's at least 80, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see him pitch a game in an hour and a half without having a heart attack.
He also played in the NCAA tournament.
So, Rich, back to the original conversation. Wearable devices, are you okay with it? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I'm okay with it. I want to see how it works. I mean, I think if it improves the pace of play, which seems to be Rob Manfred's rally cry about wanting to make the game of baseball faster. But I just hope that it doesn't turn into, well, because it works so well, now everybody has to use it, and it becomes a mandate.
Yeah, the problem again is that you're going to have, if 4 of your pitchers want to use that, and you only have one of your guys, one a guy that pitches once every 5 or 6 days, depending on when the break is, that is actually using traditional signs, are your catchers going to be versed enough? Are they going to be able to distract it enough? Because if you can see me doing the sign, like if I don't hide it, that half of the skill of being able to give a sign is being able to hide it while letting your pitcher not be able to see it.
And I guess the other thing that I was kind of surprised with is that the coaches aren't allowed to wear it. Because I mean, you'll see certain times, if you're watching a game, certain coaches still like to call the game. You'll see the catcher look over at the coach to see what they would call, and then they do their signals, and then to tell the pitcher what pitch to call. Not all catchers have that universal right, I guess, to call the game without coach assistance. So that's why I was kind of surprised with, is that like a member of the coaching staff doesn't have it.
That's amazing. I can't buy that at all.
I don't know if they're I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. Again, it's something we have to see how the implementation is going to look and what that's going to be. Rich, what else do we have on here?
I guess the other thing is that is, how are they going to make sure that the other team
can't
isn't
snag the
also
frequency,
kind of cracking it, trying to interfere with it by pressing their buttons when they're like their fielders or the away or the other team's catcher is pressing their buttons to see if you can intercept the signal to maybe tell the
they're going to be on different frequencies, obviously, and that's going to be the first thing. But the bigger thing is going to be how do you guarantee that you can't find that frequency and use it? Yeah.
And the next thing is they're going to legalize laser beams from the outfield to shine in batters' eyes.
No, that's nowhere near what we're talking about here. Okay, so we gave you last week what our preseason predictions are for.
One more thing, Mike. One more thing about the predictions, Mike. Mike, would you pay $100? I'm going to tell you. Did you open the story about the?
I have not.
The Braves. Okay, I'm going to tell you what's on this burger.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me the price.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of already spilled the beans a little bit, but
It's a little bit. Okay. A half-pound Wagyu beef burger that's topped with a cage-free pan fried egg, a gold leaf wrapped Hudson Valley foregrass, I'm guessing some sort of fancy lettuce, grilled cold water lobster tail, heirloom tomato, rib lettuce, Tillamook cheddar cheese, and truffle aioli on a toasted Irish buttered brioche bun with Parmesan waffle fries.
So I like the concept. I don't like eggs on my burger, so you lost me there.
Okay.
What else? Okay, I'm gonna.
Why put lobster on a burger?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say you said would I pay over $100? So I'm guessing it's at least $100. But I'm gonna go Wagyu beef, a quarter pound of it, depending on what cut you get. That's probably going to set you back $150 to $200. Then you're going to talk about the lobster is going to probably be. We'll go on the cheap side and go $50 for just the lobster. Then you're talking the truffle aioli is going to be probably $100 to make a jar. You're going to get $30 worth of it on your burger. Gold leaf, you're talking $50 to $100 on that. So $500.
You know what? It's actually not that much.
Okay.
$151, and you get a replica 21 World Series Braves ring with it.
Whoa, wait. I mean, how good is this replica?
I don't know.
Because if you look online, if you get a good replica, And again, this is coming from the team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's being sold, you get a burger and a replica ring.
So the replica rings that the teams give out generally, so it depends. If it's a giveaway, they tend to be terrible. But if they're not giveaway, if you're spending money on it, like if we went to Wrigley and bought the 2016 when we went to the game we went to, and you can go see the one trophy we have because they didn't have a trophy 108 years prior. If you go and see that, you could buy a replica ring, and you can spend anywhere from $50 to a couple $100 on it. So I'm guessing that's what's that?
That's the ring quality you're probably going to get, is that $50 to $100 range, if not worse.
So the burger at that point is only like $50. I'd pay $50 for that burger. I'll take the egg off it. I don't need the egg, but the rest of it, sure, I'd pay $50 for that Wagyu beef and a $100 ring. Pfft.
Gentlemen, let me tell you how old I am. When you first said a replica 21 ring for the World Championship ring, I was thinking 1921, and it came out of a box of Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, you are old, but getting the ring in there, that changes things, Rich.
Okay, all right. So would you bump it up to $25,000 for the burger if you got a limited edition World Series ring?
Okay, so those are the $25,000, which means you're getting you're no longer getting an actual replica. You are getting basically the team ring at that point. I'm guessing you're getting pretty darn close to those team rings, because those team rings, they're $15,000 to $20,000. Personally, I wouldn't. I don't have that kind of money. I mean, I don't have money to buy a $150 burger and get a $100 or $50 ring with it. But if I had that kind of money, I would probably blow it on something else. Again, if it was the Wrigley ring and a Wrigley burger, you better believe I would. If I was getting one of those specialty Wrigley ring, like the 2016 rings that they only made 500 of them, and they're not, you can't get them as a general public unless you buy a $25,000 burger. Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. Just something interesting I saw. It was it's a neat way to maybe get a replica ring other than just going to the store, or I'm sure just like the Cubs did, where they were blitz, where you saw internet blitzes of get your replica ring, and then they had different levels.
By the way, you can buy the $25 to $50 rings on Amazon now for like $10 for the 2016 teams. Okay, so last week we gave you our predictions for who was going to make the playoffs. We aren't going to just give those over to you again, but we will give you our guesses for who is going to make the NLCS, ALCS, and World Series. So, Rich, you gave me I had honors for the race. Let's give you honors for who do you think is going to be in the NLCS.
Well, the NLCS, before sitting down to do a little look over what I originally penciled in, I had Dodgers Braves, but I switched over to Dodgers and Brewers. Okay. It's hard to pick against the Dodgers with the way that team's built, and Milwaukee just, for me, almost kind of could have that Atlanta Braves feel from last year, where they had the pitching, they had the good bullpen, and hitters got hot at the right time. So I'm not picking them to beat the Dodgers, but I think that the Brew Crew can get that far.
Okay.
In the NLCS.
Joe, your pick for the NLCS.
Exactly the same. The Dodgers over the Brewers.
And I am picking the Dodgers over a team that starts with B. The Atlanta Braves. Okay.
I still like the Braves as a pick to make it this far. I just don't know if they can catch lightning in a bottle 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And that the pitching
Speaking of
I'm
lightning,
not liking their pitching.
speaking of lightning in a bottle, I'm going to pick a team that has been hot for the last few years in the American League, and we're going with the Rays.
All right, Mike,
over
who are they going to beat?
the Asterix.
Rays over the Asterix. All right, Joe, who do you like in the American League?
I'm trying to recall.
Asterix
I
over
had the Stros and the...
Sox.
Yeah, that's right. The Red Sox.
Okay.
The real Sox.
The real Sox. All right. So we all got a little bit different. You guys are both putting the Astros into the ALCS. I'm going with two different teams, as I'm going with the Blue Jays over the White Sox.
Ooh, the White Sox. Okay, Rich, you have to pick a champion this early on. Who are you picking?
I don't know if I'll pick it when it comes time to relook at these picks at the All-Star break or even when the postseason starts, but I'm probably going to be different than everybody else, and I'm going to go with the Blue Jays.
Okay. I don't mind that pick. I think that's a fun pick. Joe, who are you picking?
Dodgers.
I'm picking the Dodgers as well.
Too solid.
Yeah, they not only were they amazing last year, but they've only improved themselves this year, and they've made lots of moves in the offseason. It's hard to pick against them. Rich, I applaud you for going in a different direction, but we'll see how that goes.
Usually the teams that are the best teams that money can buy, like Steinbrenner had done for decades, don't produce as well as they're made out to. But I think the Dodgers are just too solid.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but anything can happen in the baseball playoffs. And if the Dodgers are as good as everybody thinks they're going to be, including myself, I think they're going to have a great team. They wouldn't surprise me one bit if they have the best record, not only in the National League, but baseball I don't know how that first round bye is going to play out in the baseball playoffs. It's never happened before.
Yeah.
So you could have to where, depending on who they have to face, they could have to wait 3-4 days before they get to play baseball again.
Yeah.
So how is that rust going to affect them if they have to play a team that maybe coming off an emotional high of getting a 2-0 victory in their series, or even a 2-1 victory in their series?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a 3-game series, so they only need to win 2 games.
Okay. So we are heading from the baseball diamond. I mean, Rich, how about this is the quietest week for the NFL that we've had since the offseason began.
Yeah, nothing really came out.
Not much to talk about, except that.
Not much.
Are you excited for the draft?
Yeah, I'm looking at mock drafts to see. Finally, you're starting to see some mock drafts for what the Bears are going to do with their second round picks. Maybe they trade up into the first round. I doubt it. I hope not, because they need all the players they can get.
Yeah.
So we'll probably take a look at the NFL draft maybe on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what? We got 3 weeks. We're not going to talk about the NFL for at least 2 more weeks, Rich.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the books.
And obviously, yep. Next week we'll be talking about the USFL, the spring league that Fox has been promoting very heavily during the NASCAR season, as you're going to see that happen on a Saturday night. But the odd thing is that they're going to broadcast the same game, and it's going to be simulcasted on NBC as well, or maybe a different broadcasting group.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that next week, as they have some unique rules. And just in general, do we plan on watching? And also next week, we'll be talking about the NBA playoffs. The only thing that we have to really talk about today, LeBron James will not be in the playoffs, as the Lakers have been eliminated.
By the way, real quick, I'm going to make this statement. More proof that LeBron James is not the GOAT. You ready for it?
Go ahead.
You ready? Michael Jordan, at the age of 40, won more games with the Washington Wizards, the worst team in basketball at the time before he got there. At the age of 40, won more games than LeBron James at the age of 38. Or no, he's 36. 37. He's a year older than me. LeBron James at the age of 37 won with a team that he brought all of his guys to and should be a mega team. And yet you're going to tell me he's the greatest of all time?
Yet LeBron, the quote-unquote GM, probably won't get any criticism for the team being built the way it is and missing the playoffs. But I bet you the coach is going to pay for it, as I bet you the coach won't be back.
Nope.
Next year.
He's already been fired, hadn't he?
No, I don't think
okay.
so.
It's close. There's the talk is that it's the writing's on the wall is from what I was hearing.
Well, they were on watch in January for him getting fired.
Yeah, either way, good riddance to LeBron. Get out of the season. I don't need to talk about you anymore. Except, what is every news story going to talk about during the playoffs? Where's LeBron? Boom. That's dumb. Okay. Yep. Stanley Cup playoffs, we're going to talk about that April 30th. And let's head into the quick hits as we need to talk about Joe Buck. They found a replacement for Joe Buck both in the MLB and in the NFL.
That's right. Joe Davis is going to take over the mic for Fox Sports for their Saturday afternoon ball games, as well as the playoffs and World Series.
I'm okay with that.
Joe Davis usually works with the Dodgers when he's not on national television. And Kevin Burkhardt, who does pregame for Fox on the MLB side, was previously the number 2 guy on the mic for their NFL coverage, will take over the mic for Joe Buck's prime time or the game of the week. Super Bowl coverage.
I'm okay with that. Kevin Burkhardt does a pretty decent job there. I'm okay with that. There are other people I think that are better, but for what Fox had already, I think that's a great call. I don't expect him to be the top for the next in 5 years. There'll be somebody else doing it. I'm gonna put it out there right now.
Yep, no news yet on who is replacing Troy Aikman in the booth, as Kevin Burkhardt's previous analyst partner was Greg Olson.
Yeah.
But he would only be going into his second year in the booth if he went up to the A team.
Here's my real question.
Broadcast booth.
I got a real question for you, though, Rich. And the most important one. Who is replacing Joe Buck on Domino Masters?
I have never watched Domino Masters. I didn't even know he was involved with Domino Masters until he got unmasked.
I totally lost you, Rich. I'm sorry. I laughed so hard at that I ripped my headset off, so I don't even know what you said, but it's okay. You haven't seen it.
I said I didn't know that he was even involved with Domino Masters.
Yeah.
Until there was that cross-promotional where he is the Ram unmasked on The Masked Singer, which just happened to be the week that Eric Stonechurch, the host of Domino Masters, was a guest panelist.
Yeah, no, it was...
Go figure. That was the night that he got unmasked.
Yeah. We'll get there in a second. But, Joe Buck is the voice of the topples for Domino Masters. We're going to watch... I think we have one for you. I'm going to make you watch it. It's kind of fun. You'd enjoy it. It's just a bunch of Rube Goldberg experiments. That's all it is. It's fun. Okay. And then our last...
So is Dr. Pimple Popper.
No, it's not. We're going to talk about the last sports story, and then Joe's going to leave because he doesn't want to hear about the last thing we're going to talk about. Tiger Woods is back at the Masters. This is awesome. 14 months ago, we didn't know if he was going to survive the car accident that he was in.
Mm-hmm.
As recently as 12 months ago, it was 6 months in, so it would have been as recently as 8 months ago. They were still talking about amputating his leg because circulation wasn't to their normal satisfactory, and yet he is walking the course in Augusta.
Yeah, and a bunch of people are following him too, aren't they?
18. They're saying there's roughly 18,000 people following Tiger, and they really only allow 36,000 people on the grounds.
Wow.
So half of the people at the Masters are following Tiger. And there are times where it's more than that. So, wow. Okay. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Joe, you're getting muted because don't want to be a part of this, right? Right. Okay, bye. So, Rich, we have to talk about this week's Masked Singer. So, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what happened in the Masked Singer this week, hang up now, turn off your phone. We're sorry. You can come back after you've seen the episode, listen to our reaction to it. But you know what? It's been 2 days. I've gotten news alerts already from who was unmasked. So, that's enough.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
We had Group B do it. The worst two went into the bottom two, which was nice, because I hated, and continue to hate both the Armadillo and the Hydra, and the Hydra goes home.
Yeah, it was a tough one. If I had to vote based on how they performed that night, I probably would have went with the Hydra going home. But if I was only judging off of the head-to-head battle, I would have sent the Armadillo home.
I think both of them deserve to go home. I wish they would have sent them both home this week. But we have to deal with the Armadillo next week, where he will be kicked off. And if he's not...
Probably.
I mean, the show's rigged. We already know that it is. It's okay. I don't care. But...
It's still fun to watch.
So...
Yeah. So
the
Hydra...
I actually guessed the Hydra after the... not last week, the first week they were on, but this week, after the Clue Package recap thing. And then when the Mega Clue came out, I said 100% this is Penn and Teller. And I was right.
Yeah, my wife also said it was Penn and Teller. And they did a great job on the show.
They did.
They made it sound like there were 3 people in there.
Yeah,
there were 3 people in there.
You actually got to hear Teller, Penn Jillette. So yeah, Teller. You got to hear Teller actually sing. He spoke. We know he spoke, but his voice was so distorted. We still don't know what his speaking voice sounds like.
You can find out what his speaking voice sounds like if you watch the final season of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
He had 1 or 2 lines. He did talk because he played Amy Farrah Fowler's dad.
Oh.
So he guest appeared on about 1. I think it was.
Spoiler alert to Big Bang Theory. If you have not seen it, we should have given that out apparently. But whatever.
He does speak as Amy Farrah Fowler's dad.
And I think they played it really well, where they had Penn do most of the singing, or not Penn, Teller do most of the singing, because we all know Gillette's voice. He did a really good job of being even worse than what his normal I hope that's worse than his normal singing voice. It was so terrible. If it's not worse than his normal singing voice, oh my goodness, that poor guy. I sing better than he did. Way better. But okay, that's been our show. We'd like to thank our guest this week, Joe Hart, my father. Thanks for being on the show. Rich, people are watching us on Facebook, but they just want to listen to us in their car. What should they do?
Feel free to look up Balls and Sticks anywhere where you find your podcasts, your favorite podcasts. and download us, listen to us, either our current show that you're listening to right now, or go back into the archives and listen to previous weeks where we talked about the previous weeks in sports as well. Mike, if they want to watch us, but they really don't like supporting Facebook, where else can they find us?
Well, you can support the other tech giant and support Google and watch us on youtube.com/Balls and Sticks, the podcast. So check us out those three places, and dozens of places, I suppose it technically is, because you can get podcasts anywhere. Yeah. If you are watching us on Facebook after the fact, give us a like. Like the page. We have a shout out to a Sue Hart. She says, "Go Cubs, give it up, Joe." What about Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods is playing in the Masters. He got in a car accident a year and a half ago and almost died. He then came back and is playing in the Masters, mother. She also gave a thumbs up. Be like Sue Hart. Give a thumbs up to the show. And finally, if you are watching us on YouTube, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Help that algorithm get better. Let people see our pretty faces. Rich, with that, what should I do?
Mike, why don't you go ahead and roll the outro?
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.